If you are a founder, you already know that the hiring is one of the most important things you need to grow your business. And at the same time, it's where the most expensive mistakes get made. And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about months of lost momentum, broken team, broken culture, and problems that just don't go away. They get more complicated. So today I want to walk you through a hiring playbook that I wish I had it early on in my career. And it's built around one simple and powerful idea. Stop hiring people and start hiring solutions to problems. So let me explain what I mean exactly. Most founders and business owners open a role because something feels off. Maybe the team is stretched, things are slipping through the cracks, and the first instinct is that let's just hire someone. So they start writing a job description, and a few interviews later on, they hire someone for the job. And that's exactly where it goes wrong. Because when you are wowed by a polished resume or a great interview, you're hiring a person. But what you actually need to be hiring is a solution to a specific problem. And that one shift from who should I hire to what problem am I solving changes everything about how this process works. So, where do you start? Not with a job description for sure. The most important work in the entire hiring process happens before you ever talk to a single candidate. And most founders skip it entirely. Here's the first question you need to answer honestly. What is actually broken right now? Not what role do I need? What is slow? What is the bottleneck? What are you doing every day that you know deep down you shouldn't be doing yourself? Any new hire has to be the direct answer to one of those questions. If it's not, you're not solving a problem. You're just adding overhead. Here's an exercise that forces clarity. So finish this one sentence. This hire exists to get your customer churn from 5% down to 2%. Or this hire exists to build a repeatable sales process. If you can't finish that sentence cleanly, stop. Do not hire yet. The clarity has to come first. Now, once you know the problem, define the outcomes, not just the responsibility for the job. There's a big difference. Responsibilities are like a laundry list. Outcomes are measurable. And that means building a real 30, 60, and 90-day plan. And I want to be clear, this is not optional. By day 30, they should know the ropes. By day 60, they should be running their entire function on their own. And by day 90, they need to have improved something that you can actually point to. That clarity eliminates ambiguity for everyone, for you and for them. And one more thing here. Before you stop searching, get honest about ownership level. Are you hiring someone to execute your instructions or someone to build entire systems without you holding their hand? A mismatch here is a classic recipe for frustration and micromanagement. So get it right up front and you give everyone freedom down the road. Okay, now foundation is set and time to search for someone. But this isn't just about casting a wide net and hoping for the best. Phase 2 is about applying a brutal, efficient filter designed to find that right person for your business. So start with your job description and make it do the filtering for you in the first place. Answer the tough questions right in the posting. What breaks if this role fails? What's the real pressure that comes with the job? And who is this role not for? Spell it out. The right people will get energized by the honesty, and the wrong people will opt out on their own, which saves you both a lot of time. Now, here's something that might feel counterintuitive. Filter for values before skills. Why am I saying that? Because in a fast moving business, the skills you need today might be completely different 6 months from now. You can teach someone a new tool or a new process, but you cannot teach someone to have ownership mentality. You cannot teach someone to take responsibility when things go sideways. So, values first and always. Next, and this is non negotiable, you have to test their ability to actually do their work. Anybody can talk a great game in an interview. They've practiced their answers, but you're not hiring talker. you're hiring a doer. So give them a short, real world simulation of a job, a mock sales call, a process map, a short written brief, something real. The goal is to see how they actually think and execute when the pressure is on. That signal is worth more than any interview answer. When you do sit down to talk, ask questions that reveal how they think, not questions with right answer. Try, what would you do in your first 2 weeks? Or, what would break if I disappeared for a month? Your job is to watch how they prioritize, how they solve problems, how they make decisions under uncertainty. After the second phase, you found your person. Congratulations. They accepted the offer, job done, right? Nah, not really. This is where most founders check out, and it's exactly where great hires fail as well. Before day one even starts, have an honest conversation about the reality of the role. Cover everything, the compensation, the upside potential, but also the real limitations, the growth path, and the intensity of what they are walking into. A players don't want hype, they want respect and honesty. And that transparency is what prevents major disappointment 3 months down the road. Now, the first 30 days determine almost everything, and a successful onboarding is the founder's personal responsibility, especially in smaller companies. This is not something that you can just hand off. Your job is to set clear expectations on day one and engineer a few quick wins for their first week, and also build some frequent feedback loops from the start so you can know exactly what they are doing and what are their feedbacks are. Don't just hand them over to a team and cross your fingers. And then day 90 arrives. This is the moment of truth. At that 90-day mark, you have to ask the hard questions to bring this whole thing in full circle. Did this hire solve the original problem I defined back in phase one? If the answer isn't a clear, obvious yes, you need to act fast. In a growing business, waiting is just too expensive. So let me leave you with one thing I want to take away from this video. When a hire doesn't work out, it's very easy to blame them. But in reality, and this is the hard truth, most hiring failures start with the founder. A failure to define the problem clearly, a failure to set measurable outcomes, a failure to test for what actually matters. So before you ever make an offer, ask yourself this one question. If I hired this person and then disappeared for 30 days, would I come back to a business that is stronger or weaker? If you don't feel like confident, stronger in your gut, don't make the hire. That discipline, that willingness to wait until it's right time is what separates good hiring from truly great hiring. And that's the standard worth holding yourself to. So, if you got value out of this video, I want you to do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And I'll see you in the next one.